The ocean waves gently lap against the shore as the sound of distant war cannons echoes. Dark clouds hang low over the water, with the moon barely illuminating the surface. In the heart of the American Civil War, a revolutionary innovation surfaced. The Hunley, a Confederate submarine, became the first to sink an enemy warship. A group of Confederate soldiers stand around the Hunley. Their expressions are serious, knowing the importance of this mission. The small, cigar-shaped submarine sits at the dock. Captain George Dixon, filled with determination, gives his crew final instructions. Tonight, we change history. This isn't just about sinking a ship, it's about redefining warfare. The crew shakes hands with the soldiers, aware that they might not return. They climb into the cramped interior of the Hunley, the space tight and claustrophobic. The air feels heavy. Dixon takes his place at the helm, his gaze fixed ahead. On my mark, we move. The crew silently nods, preparing for the journey ahead. Some grip their crucifixes, others adjust their jackets, bracing themselves. The Hunley submerges into the water, moving slowly and silently beneath the surface, like a predator stalking its prey. The Hunley had one mission: to sink the USS Housatonic, a Union blockade ship. But the sea had other plans. Inside the submarine, the crew works with quiet precision. One man cranks the lever, powering the propeller, the creaking of metal and the gurgling of water pressing against the hull, filling the space. Sweat trickles down their faces as the air grows warmer. How far now? Dixon checks a rough, hand-drawn map of the harbor. Almost there. Steady. The Hunley glides through the dark, murky waters, nearing the silhouette of the USS Housatonic in the distance. Their target, unaware, was anchored in the harbor, awaiting its doom. On board the Housatonic, Union sailors go about their tasks, oblivious to the threat below. Inside the Hunley, the men hold their breath as Dixon gives the order. Ready! Fire the spar torpedo. A lever is pulled and a loud thunk echoes through the hull. The torpedo is launched, attached to a long pole extending from the submarine's front. The torpedo moves through the water and embeds itself into the hull of the Housatonic. Suddenly, an explosion tears through the night, sending debris and water skyward. Sailors scream as the ship begins to sink. For the first time in history, a submarine had sunk an enemy ship, but the victory was short-lived. Inside the Hunley, the crew cheers, but the celebration is brief. The submarine shudders violently and water begins to leap through the seams. We're taking on water. Keep calm. We've survived worse. But the water rises rapidly, and the men scramble to seal the leaks. Dixon tries to steer the Hunley back to shore, but the submarine lurches and becomes unresponsive. We're not going to make it. God help us. The air grows suffocating, and one of the lanterns flickers out. The Hunley, stuck, slowly sinks to the ocean floor, vanishing into the blackness. The Hunley never returned to shore. For over a century, its fate remained a mystery, lost to the sea. In 1995, modern-day explorers discover the remains of the Hunley on the ocean floor. A diver's hand brushes away centuries of silt, revealing the rusted metal of the submarine. In 1995, the Hunley was found perfectly preserved in the cold depths of Charleston Harbor. In 2000, the Hunley is raised from the water as crowds cheer. Cranes hoist the submarine onto the dock. In 2000, the Hunley was brought to the surface. Inside, the remains of the crew were found, still at their stations, as if waiting for one final command. In a laboratory, archaeologists examine the bones of the Hunley's crew. Captain Dixon's skeleton is identified by the gold coin he always carried, found beside him. Captain Dixon and his men never surrendered, even as the sea claimed them. They rest now, symbols of courage and the cost of innovation. As the sun sets over Charleston Harbor, a lone figure gazes out at the water. The Hunley remains a testament to those who dared to challenge the future, and to the men who gave their lives in its pursuit.